It's Listen In with KNN, the sports sound of the district. We bring you the biggest guests, great analysis, and the hottest sports news from the district and beyond. Today, we welcome one of basketball's most dominant defenders. A four-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year and a four-time All-Star, he helped the Detroit Pistons knock off the Los Angeles Lakers to win the 2004 NBA title. He also made his mark at Virginia Union University in the CIAA, leading the Panthers to the Division II Final Four and a 28-3 record. And, despite being undrafted, his defensive game spoke volumes.
O'Neal deep in the post, lots of contact there. Oh, what a block by Wallace! What a jump ball!
Now that was beautifully timed by Ben Wallace.
Williamson going in, and it's picked up and in.
The man is work.
Wallace.
The man is work.
It's Big Ben Wallace. He joins this live stream broadcast of Listen In with KNN right now with your host, Kelsey Nicole Nelson.
All right, everyone. Hello, and welcome to another live stream edition of Listen In with KNN, presented by Fox Sports Radio. I'm your host, Kelsey Nicole Nelson. Thank you for your patience. You guys know this is a technology age. We had a slight technical difficulty, but we are here, and I'm so excited to bring you all today's guests. Of course, yesterday, thank you very much to former NBA player Anthony Morrow for joining me. And then today, we have the one and only Ben Wallace joining me today. We're going to talk all things hoops. Of course, he is the minority owner of the Grand Rapids Drive. And of course, you guys already know his fabulous NBA career that we will also talk and dish. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome my special guest, none other than Mr. Ben Wallace, to the show. Ben, how are you today?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you for being patient. I know this live stream stuff can be a little confusing, so I appreciate you bearing with me.
Yeah. This new technology is a little bit different.
No problem. So first off, I like to check in with my guests. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
I'm doing pretty good. Just try to get used to the quarantine and social distancing.
Yeah, it's a little different. It's tough, but I mean, hopefully sooner than later, we will find a cure. And then with all that's going on, I know right now in the world, I know you recently actually had posted an Instagram post where you said your voice is more powerful than your fists. You have your future in your own hands. Let's arrive together. If you could break that down for me and kind of talk about the inspiration behind that post.
The inspiration behind that post is, just to let the public know that, that is their community, is their town, is their city.
Right.
No need to, riot and destroy property and stuff like that. The community got everybody's attention now, and now they need to speak clearly, make demands, and let the world know, how they feel and, how they want to bring about change, as a sports figure, as a celebrity. It's time for us to be quiet and allow the streets to talk, because they're the ones, who's going to make the biggest difference right now. They have their own future in their hand. They got the mic, they're talking and they're making change and they're making demands. And, we gotta support, our fellow, neighbors now. So they definitely got the power in their own hands. So when they stop fighting and start speaking, I think change will come.
Yeah, change will come, I think, is a powerful thing. I think we're kind of starting to see that. We're starting to see Confederate symbols being removed from all across the country. And we really see this global movement. We see athletes from all over the world supporting Black Lives Matter. So I just want to get your thoughts on, what you think about this overall, all of these protests happening, these marches, these peaceful marches, people going to legislators demanding change. What are you thinking about all that's kind of happening in the world right now?
It's a lot, it's a lot to deal with. It's just not America. It's just not one city, just not one state. It's happening all over the world. And I think, that's how, you make changes when everybody connect, globally.
Right.
You can bring forth change. And like you say, a lot of the Confederate stuff is coming down. I think we live in a society where, where people want to be treated equal, and and everybody want to see the next man or the next woman, treated equal. And now I think, like I said, they got the platform and everybody's together, and I think change will come from this.
Yeah, and you talk about change coming from this. I think we're all thinking about the future, Ben, and our children. And I know you're a family man. So, I mean, how are you explaining this to the little ones so they kind of understand what's happening currently in our country? We lost your. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Oh, hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. We can hear you and see you.
Are we still there?
Yep, we can hear you and see you. Can you hear me? You can't hear me? Okay, I'm going to take you off. And we're going to come back on. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, Ben?
Technical difference.
Oh, man. All right, we're going to go back off real quick, and I'm going to bring you right back on. Can you hear me now?
Okay.
You still can't hear me? That's so weird. All right. Everyone, please bear with us. He was just about to give us a phenomenal answer. I'm going to try one more time. All right. Can you hear me now?
I lost all my sound.
Can you hear me now? You can't hear me at all, Ben? All right. We're going to figure this out. Give me one sec. Everyone, please bear with us. As we know, he's about to give us a great answer. We are just having a few difficulties, storm passing through the DMV area, but I'm going to try my best to get Ben back on. All right, Ben, can you hear me now? Still no sound?
I lost all my sound. I can't hear anything.
Oh, man. Okay, so we can hear you, but you can't hear me. All right. I might have to have you log back on. All right, Ben, I'm going to try to bring you right back. You still can't hear me? Nothing?
Well, I can't hear y'all, but I'm pretty sure y'all can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear
He
you.
was saying, how do I explain this to the kids? But to my surprise, the kids are, they're very in tune to what is going on. So it's not a matter of me explaining to them. It's just a matter of us having a conversation, and they're expressing some things that they've been through, and some things that they have discussed with their friends. And I just try to listen and reinforce the positive things that they are talking about, and let them know that here's a time for them to also have a voice in what's going on. And we all young, old, black, white, or whatever race, we all gonna have to sit down and have this conversation. It's an uncomfortable conversation, but we need to have it, because we've been ignoring these things for so long, and we've been allowing it, and we'll be allowing it to happen. So if you're going to sit back and you're going to allow it to happen, then you're just as guilty as anybody else. Nobody liked what really went on during the time of slavery and stuff like that. And I think we all want to see changes, and the things that the one thing that I'm most proud of is the fact that it's not just black men and women, on the street protesting. It's people of all races, all colors, and they standing together. And that signify, what our country is about. It's the United States, so it's a united front. And when everybody stand together, your voice is so powerful, and things really, really start to change. As you can see, everybody's talking about it now. So I just encourage my kids to be a part of it. This is something special that's happening in our world, in our society, and be a part of it.
Yeah. Can you hear me now, Ben? Are we going to have to go? Might have to go old school, and I might have to just type it to you. You still can't hear me?
I still can't hear.
All right. So I'm going to type it. I'm going to type my questions. I'm going to try to bring you off one more time now and see if this works. All right, everybody, please bear with us. A few technical difficulties. All right. Can you hear me now? You still can't hear me? All right. So we're going to type my questions then. We will go old school. Type my questions. All right, everyone. So I'm going to type my questions to Ben. He can see these, and then he will answer that way, but I will read them aloud so you all can hear my questions. So now, Ben, I want to ask you, what has been the most inspirational act that you have seen during this time? I think he's still reading the question.
The most inspiring act that I've seen is the fact that we talk about our millennials, and oftentimes we say they're hard headed, they're lazy, or they don't have respect for authority figures. They don't have respect for elders. I think right now the most inspiring thing is that we have gave our millennials something to fight for. We have gave them something to be a part of, and now they have taken the lead, and if they continue down this path, they're going to make the world a better place for all of us. So, I'm just proud to see our youth out there standing up and fight for what they believe in, and for the most part, doing it in a peaceful way. Things that they want to see changed, they're going after it. They're speaking up on it, and they're taking action. So, if whatever doubt that we had about our millenniums, has now since been erased out of my mind. We gave them something positive to fight for, and they're leading the charge for us.
Yeah. I will say that's inspiring because I'm a millennial, so I've also been inspired. And then my next question to you, Ben, is with NBA players being in the forefront of this movement, as a former NBA player, what do you think about this new wave of athletes and activism?
I think with the athletes getting involved, man, I think it's time. We have like the biggest platform. We got a camera in our face 24/7, and it's time, man. We owe it to society. We owe it to our people. We owe it to the hood. That we came from. It's not enough to just to go back and be seen and be recognized. We got to make a difference. It's time to make a change. And to see the guys being so active, in this movement, it's a great feeling for me. It's the same thing. We talk about our young players coming into the league, the NBA or NFL or Major League Baseball or whatever sports. We talk about how privileged they are or how privileged they feel, and right now, they're using that power of their media platform, and they're giving back, and they're making their voices heard, and they're echoing what the streets are saying. So I think it's a great partnership, when we team up, with our community and go out and fight for what we believe in.
Yeah, it's powerful. And then I'm going to send Ben my next question. If you're just joining us, Ben cannot hear me. We can hear Ben. You all can hear me, and you guys can hear Ben, but he can't hear me. So I'm typing my questions to him to answer. So my next question for him is switching over to your role as a minority owner. How have you led the Grand Rapids Drive during this difficult time? You think he's still reading the question?
My role is being a part of the Grand Rapids Drive team. It's an important role for me because, for one, it erased the stigma that we're just jocks. And let the world know that we can make the transition from, playing the sport to managing the sport and being in a business side of the sport. I think it's important. Right now, as a young African American to prove to the rest of the world, the rest of society, that I can also make a difference, not just on the court using my physical gifts, but I can also make a difference in the front office, with managing the team, running the team, putting together, sponsorship packages and selling tickets and doing all those things. So I think, you know, as important as it was for me to be a role model on the court, it's also very important for me to be a role model in the business world of basketball, and get out to Grand Rapids, get into the community, and let people know that I'm not just lending a face to this franchise, but I'm an active member of this franchise, and being in the community, letting people know that I care about the community just as much as I care about the game of basketball. So it's been a very important role for me.
Yeah, obviously a community leader. And I love that you are speaking on just the ownership side of it, because now I want to ask you this current question with Kyrie Irving and others proposing a possible new basketball league. Why do you think so many people are looking down to this possible move? And just for those joining us, he's reading the questions because Ben cannot hear me, even though we can hear him. So we're going old school and we're typing across the computer.
I mean, yeah, you got a lot of guys, talking about, starting another league or a different league or whatever. I think that just come from, looking at getting educated on the business side,
right,
of the game, and realizing that, what type of power that they have, they're how marketable they are, and when you look at it at the end of the day, the players are the ones on the court. The players are the ones that, putting their body on the line, and sacrificing their bodies, sacrificing their family time, and going out there and playing the game and putting on a good show that's entertaining for everybody to watch.
Yeah.
So when guys start making a proposal of starting their own league, it's something that everybody should take serious and should pay attention to, because without the player, there is no league.
Right.
Without the players, there is no basketball, no baseball, no football, no soccer. The players are the driving force, behind all these things. And and with the players out there playing and being productive on the floor, a lot of people, who's invested in these teams, they get to see a great return on their investments.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that the players are taking it upon themselves to say, hey, we want to be a bigger part. We want to play. We want to be major players in this game, not just as a player, but also as a businessman.
Yeah.
So it's strictly about business right now, and if they serious about it, then they need to, put forth some action and try to get it done.
Yeah. That's a powerful answer. I think that's what we're saying. We hear these words, but are you serious about it? Are you going to take action? I want to go back to the G League with you, Ben. So I'm going to type this next question. All right, everyone. Thank you for bearing with us. All right, so my next question, then we're going to go back to the G League. Going back to the NBA G League, it's grown tremendously through the NBA G League Pathway Program, gaining huge players like Jalen Green. You have Knicks, Isaiah Todd. What does this say about the growth of the league? And I'm going to try to bring Ben off one more time and bring him back on. Can you still not hear me? Okay, we'll just go.
Well, the G League is definitely growing. The G League has a program, for guys who coming out of high school, who don't necessarily want to go to college, for that 1 year, that one and done. We provide a platform where they can come straight into the G League, and it's actually a great platform where they can come in here and they can play. They can come to G League, they can play, and they still can go back into the NBA draft. But the thing that I'm most excited about and happy to see is up until 10 to 12 years after you retire from the NBA, you can go back into this program and get your college degree from any it's a couple of schools that they got picked out so you can go back and get that college degree. So it's like having almost a lifetime scholarship, So you get a chance to pursue your dreams, and when it's time for you to walk away from basketball, you still got opportunity to go back to school and get that degree so you can, further your education so you can continue on in the business world.
That's awesome. We always want to see players going back and getting that degree because we know there's life after basketball. So I think that's exciting. And for those that didn't know, that's definitely a huge, 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 huge gain. And now I want to talk with Ben about the Grand Rapids Drive more. For those that maybe don't know a lot about the team, I want to ask him how would he describe this identity of this basketball team? This team. All right. So for those that don't know much about the Grand Rapids Drive, how would you describe the identity of this basketball team? And of course, this is the team that Ben is minority owner of.
The Grand Rapids Drive, I would, describe them as a community team. We do a great job of mixing it up with the community, getting the guys out in the community so it can be seen.
Yeah.
We don't want to try to limit them to, just players. We want them to go out, meet the community, meet some of the sponsors, in their office, in their comfortable space, and not just get known as a basketball player, but get known as the person and as the man that you really are. So it's important that we connect with our community and let everybody know that, the only way that the drive can be successful if we get the support from the community, and the same support that we get from the community, we make sure we give it back to the community. So it's more like a family's atmosphere there. So the Grand Rapids Drive is definitely a community-based team.
Yeah, that community-based is huge. And staying on the Grand Rapids Drive, I want to ask him, how special was it for you, Ben, to join the Grand Rapids Drive after your personal connection that you obviously have with the Detroit Pistons? I feel like we're getting a little bit of sound, so maybe we can hear him. Ben, can you hear me at all? Can you hear me now? I can hear you typing. Can you hear me, Ben?
I mean, it was really important for me to connect with the drive. It's something that I always wanted to do. Even as a player, I attempted to purchase it was then the D League team. Because I like the platform. It's a platform that keep players' dreams alive. It's sort of like give you a second and third opportunity. Me being an undrafted player myself, I know if the G League would have been around when I first came into the league, I probably definitely would have made a stop in the G League. And now, it's important for me because over 55% of the players in the league, has played in the G League. So right. It's keeping guys' dreams alive. It's teaching guys, young men, how to be responsible. Teaching them how to be a professional. We take for granted that all these kids are going to be prepared to be professional, but we give these guys millions and millions of dollars and all this free time, and then we want to punish them for making mistakes when there's no one there to coach them and guide them and teach them how to be professional. So I think the G League platform is definitely a great platform to teach these young guys how to be professional. So for me, it's very important that I have a voice and I have a role, and I can connect with some of these young guys and turn them into responsible young adults.
Yeah. I think that's such a powerful answer. And I want to go to your background, Marcus. You touched on it, and the journey, what it's like to get to the NBA. It's not the easiest thing. So I'd like for you to talk about your journey into the NBA coming out of Virginia Union University. And while we have that going on, I want to make sure I just...
Well, my journey coming into the NBA, coming from a small HBCU, it was it was definitely a different route, a road that's not well traveled at all.
Hmm.
And but for me, it was a dream, you know, and I wanted to do everything I could to accomplish that dream. So coming from Virginia Union, it was real humbling, to have to go the route that I had to take. But it made me humble, it made me hungry. It made me want to prove everybody wrong. A lot of things, all the things that broke me in the draft and did not call my name. So I sort of had a chip on my shoulder, and I wanted to, make those teams take notes and be aware that that they missed out. So that route, it kept me hungry, it kept me humble, and it kept me hungry, and kept me excited about the game. And if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't do it no other way.
I love that. I love that. We need those talent at those HBCUs. So I want to follow up with that question. I'm going to ask Ben, how do you feel HBCUs can get top tier talent to their schools? I think that's an important question. We're asking it now. We have players like Mikey Williams that has turned attention to it, but I want to hear from Ben with his personal experience about that. We're getting his sound right. All right, there we go. So he's just now reading the question. Again, thank you everyone for bearing with us. Technology woes in 2020. So the next question is for Ben. How do you feel HBCUs can get top tier talent to their school?
The HBCUs, I think I think they're doing a great job, as a school, as university or whatever. I think it's up to us, as guys who played at a HBCU to get the message out there to let everybody know, how special those HBCUs are.
Yeah.
And I think they do a great job of marketing themselves and making everybody aware. But like I was saying about making change, and in order for to change things, we as as students from the HBCU, we're gonna have to start standing up and fighting for our schools and fighting for our university and letting the world know that these are some great colleges and great university and the experience there was it was awesome. It was probably the best, probably would be one of the best experiences of your life.
Wow, that's powerful. And that's what we hear. HBCUs are wonderful schools. They're schools that need to be considered. And I think Ben said it. I think it's up to us to make sure that talent goes to those schools. And I wanted to talk now with Ben about his inspirations. He recently had a personal post in remembrance of Wes Unseld. So I want to get his thoughts. Of course, since we're a DMV-based show. Your career. Again, thank you, everyone.
When I talk about my inspiration, my hero, my role model was my mom. She was it for me. She was my everything. She encouraged me to take chances and not settle. She always told me that no matter what I do in life, and no matter how rough it get or how well it get, or if I feel like I couldn't go any farther, or I feel like if I went too far and had to reground myself, that I can always come home. But she also explained to me that she didn't see me, living, full time in Lowndes County, Alabama, after I graduated high school. So she encouraged me to go out and chase my dreams. And even when I was in places and things wasn't working out, she told me I could come home, but there's nothing here for you. She was like, I'm always going to be here. You can always come here. But what you're doing right now is way, way more, way better than what you would be doing if you was here in Lowndes County. So my mom was the driving force. She put me on my life path, and she kept me on track. And then she made sure that I chased my dream and gave it everything I had.
I love that. There's nothing like a mother's love. Very inspirational. And then next, I'm asking Ben about Wes Unseld, since he had a very personal post to Wes. I'll let him take it away.
Well, just recently, we just lost a brother, a legend, Wes Unseld. And I made a post about Wes, the other, after he passed, because I wanted people to know, how important he was, to my life, my career. It's one thing when you feel like that you have the skills and you have the talents to do something, and then it's something totally different to get somebody else to believe in you as much as you believe in yourself. And Wes was one of those guys who called me in and gave me an opportunity, and he believed in me. He didn't sugarcoat anything. He didn't promise anything. He just gave me an opportunity. And I said in the post that if it wasn't for Wes Unseld, whoever knows that if that would ever been a Theater Fro, whoever knows that would ever been a Ben Wallace, playing in the NBA, or being an owner of the Grand Rapid Drives. He took a chance in me, and I made the most of it. And I tell people that I hope I made him proud. At least I hope I made him proud, because during that moment in my life, all I was looking for was an opportunity, and he did that for me. And it not only changed my career path, it changed my life, it changed my family life, and just a great guy that that I always remember, and he always be special to me.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Now I just want to talk more with Ben about his career. So I'm asking him, when you look back at your career, what do you most want to be remembered for? We're getting a tour around his house too, which is pretty cool.
I mean, when I look back at my career, the thing I most likely want to be remembered for is, a guy who did it the right way. I played hard. Every moment I was on the floor, I worked and earned everything that I got, and I didn't take shortcuts. I didn't take advantage of people. I feel like I was the ultimate teammate. I just want to be remembered for a guy who was given an opportunity and made the most of it, and set an example for the young guys that was coming into the league. So I definitely want to be remembered, as a guy who put his heart and soul into the game and left it all on the floor, night in and night out.
Yeah, and that's what we do remember Ben for. I think anybody that knows Ben Wallace's career, this is what we know. And now, of course, I'm going to ask him about the championship, because I know you all want to know. So I'm going to ask him, take me back to that championship season and what it meant for you to become, I'm typing as I tell you all this, to become an NBA champion. Can you still not hear me, Ben? All right, I'll take that as a no. All right, so I'm asking him about the championship. Take me back through that season and what it meant for you to become an NBA champion.
I mean, when I look back, at this season in which we won the NBA title, it definitely was a special year for a number of different reasons. For one, I felt like I was playing with a group of guys, that I wanted to win for them. Yeah. So it wasn't just about me. We played as a collective unit, and we all wanted to win for the next guy. And playing on that team, was special for me because, even to this day, just 2 days ago, we was all on a group chat, checking in on each other, talking about business ventures, chopping it up about basketball, checking on families, those guys remember birthdays and things like that. So for me to win a championship, which is a special moment within itself, but to win a championship with a group of guys that I call and still can call my brothers to this day, it just made it that more special. And then to bring it to a city like Detroit, who was behind us, 100% every step of the way from day one, to be able to raise that trophy in front of them, it definitely was an awesome and amazing feeling. And, I just wish that anybody that win a championship from here on, get a chance to experience that type of feeling, because, it's one of those things that never get old and it never goes away, and it's going to be known and remembered forever.
Yeah, it's a special moment. And now you guys know I have to ask him any thoughts on who this year's NBA champion will be. I can't wait to hear this answer. All right, so I just typed it into him again. We're going old school. We're going rogue, because you guys can hear me, you guys can hear Ben, but he can't hear me, even though I can hear him. So we found a way to do this.
I mean, when I think about this year's champion, I don't know. I really don't know, how it's going to play out, but it's going to be interesting to see. So I'm just going to be along for the ride like everybody else, because it's a different time. It's a different era. It's a lot is going on, around the world. So it's just going to be, it's going to be different. It's going to be, I guess, whoever can pull it together and stay focused, through everything that's going on, are the ones that are going to eventually come out as champions, but I think above all, the biggest champion this year is probably going to be the people, because the people that's out here protesting and demanding changes, they're going to be my true champions.
Yeah.
So I'm going to watch the NBA, I'm going to cheer for the guys. I'm going to be happy for whoever wins. But I look at the team, the team of people we have in the street, as far as the community right now, they're going to be the true champions, no matter who win basketball, football, or baseball, as a whole, with the team that's protesting and fighting together right now, they're going to be the true champions, because they're going to be the real true champion of the world. So
yeah,
that's my team right now.
That's powerful, so powerful. And I completely agree. I think it's the everyday people that are the true champions and the true heroes of today. And then before I let Ben go, and again, thank you everyone for bearing with us. It's been phenomenal. Ben has been amazing working through all of this with me. But I want to ask him any last words for our listening audience. Any message he wants to leave with?
I would just tell everybody, man, just stay safe, continue to follow the guidelines about social distancing and stuff like that as much as you possibly can. Take care of yourself, take care of your family, be active, be visible, be a part of the movement that's going on. This is not something for me as a former basketball player. This is not a fight for me. It's not a place for, our entertainers to make demands and stuff like that. This definitely is a time for the people. It's your time to speak up. It's your time for your voice to be heard. It's your time to be the role model that the world needs. So, do your part. Standing by and not doing anything or not saying anything, is not going to get us anywhere right now. So everybody needs to be active and do their part.
Yeah, I completely agree. Everybody needs to be active. Everybody needs to do their part. It takes all of us together. That's the only way we are going to get through this. I have to thank Ben so much for joining me, and thank you everyone for putting up with these technical difficulties. But as you guys know, he's just been truly inspirational, truly phenomenal. I'm thanking him for joining me for this special edition. So thank you again so much, Ben. I wish you could see all the love that he's getting. Lots and lots and lots of love from fans. Oh, wait, we have one more fan question. Let me see if he can answer. Oh, he went away. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining. I truly, truly appreciate it. Again, I know we had some technical difficulties. Hopefully next time we can get Ben back. He already has agreed to come back. He was phenomenal. He was awesome. We'll be back next week on the 24th with Amari Stoudemire. It's going to be an action-packed show that's 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You are not going to want to miss it. We're going to continue this basketball talk. We're going to continue societal talk. And of course, you all need to continue to listen in with KNN. Thank you all so much for joining me for this special edition. Have a great weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Everyone, please spoil your dads. We know dads are true heroes and champions, and they deserve all the love they can get. Until next week, you all stay safe, stay healthy, please. And also don't forget to wear your face mask when you all go outside. All right. Thanks so much. Have a great one. Bye-bye.
Follow Kelsey on social media at The Real K Nelson. And catch each broadcast of Listen In with KNN on air at AM 1340 and 96.9 FM Fox Sports Radio on YouTube, on Facebook and Twitter, and online at KelseyNicoleNelson.com. Thank you for watching this special live stream broadcast of Listen In with KNN.